This week, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper spending time in D.C. pushing for federal funds for Helene recovery. The governor joining us now. Thanks for joining us, Governor Cooper.
Glad to be with you. Thanks.
What was your message to lawmakers in D.C. this week?
That Helene was the deadliest and most devastating storm ever to hit North Carolina. $53 billion in damages, losing 103 people to this storm. We met with President Biden and his staff, with 9 federal agencies, with North Carolina's U.S. senators and several members of Congress, with congressional budget staff in both the House and the Senate. And our message was that Western North Carolina cannot recover without substantial investment by the federal government. We've asked for more than $25.5 billion in Western North Carolina. It's so important to make sure that when you build back, you keep in mind future storms. And so these roads and bridges and water system and housing are going to have to be built back even stronger. That's going to be more expensive, but we believe the investment in Western North Carolina is worth it. It's important to our economy, and it's important to everybody all over the country who has warm memories of Western North Carolina. I've talked to many people across the country who care deeply about what's happening and want to help.
What was your sense of their response?
It's very positive. What we want is this supplemental appropriations before the end of the year. President Biden has proposed a little under $100 billion going to disasters across the country. We need bipartisan support, and we met with people on both sides of the aisle. We also, into the next few years, will need to rely on the new administration here in North Carolina, Governor-elect Josh Stein. He was with me on this trip. We've also sent all of this information to President-elect Trump and his new administration. We're hoping that they will make this a priority, that Congress will make it a priority. It's too important not to do this.
Speaking of which, North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis also there with you, and like you said, working across party lines to get this aid. How important is that? What kind of message does that send to North Carolinians?
Well, we have 2 Republican U.S. senators in North Carolina, so it's important for them to work as hard as they can, and they both indicated to us that they were going to. We also have a split congressional delegation. They are all united in their support for this. So we believe that I think there's a good shot at getting a substantial chunk of this money. We need we need this federal funding. The local governments can't do it by themselves, that's for sure.
Absolutely. The General Assembly also passing a bill this week to help those recovering, but that bill comes with cuts to powers that the governor and attorney general have. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, this bill really didn't provide immediate and direct funding to Western North Carolina. It simply moved some money around, saying that they were going to appropriate it later. That leaves small businesses hanging that are really in need of direct grants. It leaves local governments hanging. And to bill this as a disaster recovery legislation, it's really a disaster in and of itself, because it's just a massive power grab. You have a new governor, a new attorney general, a new superintendent in public instruction, elected overwhelmingly by the people of North Carolina. And for the legislature to lock in billions of dollars for private school vouchers and to do little to nothing last week for Western North Carolina, and then to put their priority on this legislation that grabs power, is wrong on so many levels. We need very much a strong bipartisan effort to help Western North Carolina recover.
Governor Cooper, thanks for your time. I know Western North Carolina is looking forward to a positive response.
Thanks very much.